Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm bringing you the next chapter in the story of Ly Hoai Ca and Officer Hùng. In the previous episode, Hùng and his fellow officers successfully captured two dangerous smugglers, uncovering clues that point to a much larger criminal network lurking behind them. So, what will happen next? Will Hùng be able to track down the true mastermind? And how will Hoai Ca cope when she learns that the man she loves may be in danger? All of that will be revealed in today's video. So stay tuned to find out how the story unfolds. Early morning. A thin veil of mist drifted across the fields, soft and milky like smoke curling over the tender green rice, still damp from the night. From afar came the crowing of roosters, mingling with the clinking of cowbells at the village gate. Blue kitchen smoke rose slowly from moss-covered roofs, weaving through tall erica palms before fading into the sunlight spreading gently across the hillside. In the backyard orchard, Hoai Ca and Mother Ha were bent over, picking oranges heavy with dew. The first rays of sunlight washed over their tan skin, painting it with a warm golden hue. The scent of soil and pomelo blossoms floated on the breeze, filling the air with a sense of peace and belonging. Mother Ha lowered another orange into a bamboo basket and said softly, her voice tinged with contentment, "The trees are full this year. Heaven must be kind to us. After all the watering, pruning, and tending, it's worth it." Hoai Ca looked up and smiled gently. "That's thanks to you, Mother. You talk to the trees every day. How could they not love you back?" Mother Ha chuckled, pride and tenderness mingling in her tone. "Well, it's like people, child. Trees have feelings, and people have hearts. Only with love can anything truly bloom and bear fruit." Their voices blended with the rustle of dry leaves beneath their feet. Then, suddenly, Hoai Ca paused. Her hands stilled as her gaze drifted toward the small road leading out of the village and, further still, to the misty hills in the distance. Her voice came soft, almost carried away by the wind. "I wonder if Hung's eaten yet. He's probably still working late again." Mother Ha straightened, her sun-worn hands still holding the fruit midair. She looked at her daughter and sighed quietly. "That's his duty, my dear. Serving the people, protecting the country, there's never time to rest. I just pray that every time he leaves, he comes home safe. That's all a mother could wish for." Hoai Ca nodded, her eyes glistening as she hid the worry in her heart. From her pocket, she took out her phone and opened the last photo Hùng had sent. Him in his uniform, a faint trace of sweat on his brow, but smiling brightly under the golden sun. The light from the screen reflected softly on her face, like a quiet ray of sunlight touching her heart. "He's always like that, strong no matter what," she whispered, brushing her fingertip across his image. A light breeze passed, and a few orange blossoms fell gently into her hair. From afar, the church bell began to ring, its sound echoing long and low across the still morning. The faint smell of smoke from a nearby home drifted in, mingling with the laughter of children playing by the pond. It was a peaceful morning, the kind that felt unshakable, timeless. And yet, somewhere out there, where Hùng was carrying out his duty more than 100 kilometers away, dark clouds were beginning to gather. The storm was about to begin. Evening falls. The last light of day slants through the bamboo grove at the village gate, painting the muddy road gold after the morning rain. Hoai Ca walks toward the market, a basket over her shoulder, the faint scent of orange blossoms from the garden still clinging to her hair. The afternoon market is alive with chatter, vendors calling out, customers haggling, laughter blending with the smell of grilled fish and kitchen smoke, the familiar fragrance of home. She sets her basket of fruit in her usual corner, wiping the sweat from her brow before smiling to greet her first customers. But amid the cheerful noise, her ears catch a hushed conversation from a group of women at the next stall. I heard that smuggling bust the other night was huge. The police surrounded them by the riverside all night. Yeah, and I think some people were injured. Poor souls, their job's so dangerous. At that, Hoai Ca's hand froze. The orange slipped slightly in her grasp, nearly falling. Her heartbeat quickened, her breath caught tight in her throat. She forced a small smile and asked, her voice trembling, "Do you know who was hurt?" One of the women shook her head. "No, dear. Just rumors from nearby villages." Hoai Ca fell silent. Her eyes drifted past the rows of stalls, past the sunlit, dusty road, as if she could somehow see through it all the way to where he was, more than 100 kilometers away, carrying out his duty. When the market began to quiet down, she packed up her fruit, bought some meat and vegetables, and hurried home. Along the empty stretch of road, she pulled out her phone, fingers trembling as she typed quickly. "Oi, are you doing all right? I heard the recent case was really dangerous." The message appeared with a tiny line of text, sent not read. She stared at it for a long time, as if willing it to change, praying for a small miracle. 1 minute. 2. 3. Still nothing, only her worried reflection in the dimming light of evening. She sighed softly and slipped the phone back into her pocket. The sunlight had faded completely, leaving only the smell of dry straw and the chirping of crickets. Her gaze turned toward the horizon, where the clouds had deepened in color, heavy, dark, signaling another coming storm. Inside her heart, an uneasy feeling began to stir. A faint, wordless premonition. That somewhere far away, where Hùng was, the winds of trouble were starting to rise. At headquarters, the white glow of neon lights spilled across a long table covered in maps, reports, and thick stacks of case files. Hùng and his team had just returned after escorting 2 captured smugglers, the end of a relentless 10-hour pursuit. Their uniforms were still streaked with dirt and sweat. No one spoke, only the soft whir of the ceiling fan and the shuffle of papers broke the heavy silence, thick with the scent of coffee and cigarettes. Comrade Phong rose to his feet, his voice hoarse but firm. Reporting to the commander, the suspects confessed they were only couriers. Each shipment was divided into smaller loads and delivered based on coded signals from a hidden contact across the border. In other words, there's a much larger, well-organized network behind this. The room went completely silent. Hùng stepped toward the large map pinned to the wall, where red circles marked previous seizure points. He studied it for a long moment before speaking, his tone low but resolute. "If that's true, we're no longer dealing with simple smugglers. This is a real war." The commanding officer at the head of the table nodded, his expression tense. "This operation must remain classified. Not a single word leaves this room. Prepare for a long-term investigation, and make sure only the core team has full access to the details." Phong hesitated, then added quietly, "There's one more thing, sir. It seems someone involved in the transport chain had prior contact with our own personnel. There's a chance we have a mole." The air thickened instantly. All eyes turned toward Hùng. He clenched his fists slightly, his gaze steady, a mixture of determination and an icy calm. "If that's the case," he said, "we'll have to move carefully. Start again from the data we collected last night, and check inside as well." A gust of wind blew through the open window, scattering a report from the table onto the floor. Outside, the sky had turned a heavy gray, clouds gathering fast, a storm building on the horizon. Hùng looked out through the glass, a flash of lightning cutting across his reflection, casting a cold light over his face. He understood then. The real storm was coming. And this time, it wouldn't just be a fight against the enemy outside, but a battle within his own ranks. Late at night, the office was dim, lit only by the flickering glow of a single yellow lamp that cast Hung's shadow across the worn wall. Outside, rain fell steadily on the tin roof, the wind howling softly through the corridor, blending with the slow, rhythmic spin of the fan. On the desk, stacks of files rose high, a few sheets rustling lightly in the breeze, the only sound breaking the stillness of the night. Hung leaned back in his chair, eyes half closed. Lines of exhaustion marked his forehead, the trace of too many sleepless nights. Suddenly, his phone rang, cutting through the silence. He reached for it, and his eyes softened when he saw the name glowing on the screen. Hoai Ca. He answered, his voice low but warm. It's me. Sorry, I've been so busy these days. We're handling a major case, so I haven't been able to call much. From the other end came Hoai Ca's voice, gentle, like a breeze through the rain. I understand. Just take care of yourself, eat properly, and rest when you can. That's all I need to know. Hung smiled, a rare smile after a day buried in stress and tension. In that brief moment, the fatigue seemed to fade away. He could hear the faint patter of rain on her end of the line, the same rain, falling back home. A long silence stretched between them. Only the sound of rain, the hum of the fan, and their quiet breaths filling the distance between two hearts that felt close, yet far apart. Hoai Ca, he said softly, his voice deep and steady. When this case is over, I'll come home. Take care of Mom for me, and don't worry too much. She paused for a few seconds, then replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Just promise me one thing. What is it? No matter what happens, you have to come back safe. Hung lifted his head, gazing out the window. A flash of lightning tore across the sky, illuminating his face, eyes resolute, but shadowed by an unspoken fear. He smiled faintly, a smile both brave and sad. I promise. The rain grew heavier, drumming harder on the roof. When the call ended, the screen dimmed, leaving only the weak lamplight reflecting off his face. He sat there for a long moment, then reached out to touch the small wooden frame on his desk, the photo of Hoai Ca smiling softly. His voice broke the silence, a whisper meant only for himself. I just hope, when all of this is over, I'll still have the chance to see that smile again. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, a low, distant growl promising a restless night. And amid the sound of relentless rain, his phone lit up once more, a new message from his superior. Update, movement detected. Phase 2 begins at dawn. Hung's eyes sharpened instantly. He rose from his chair, exhaling slowly. The brief moment of peace had passed. Now it was time to return to the fight. The next morning, the meeting room was washed in a pale white light. The long table was crowded with files, maps, and photographs taken from the crime scenes. The atmosphere was heavy and solemn, every breath sounding unusually loud. Hung sat at the head of the table, flipping through documents. His gaze paused on a photo of a warehouse near the border, the place where smuggled goods were often transshipped. Beside him, the commander and comrade Fong outlined the plan. They have weapons, money, and complicated connections. According to the latest intel, some members were once in the military and know tactics well. This mission is extremely dangerous. Hung listened in silence, his eyes slowly scanning the map spread before him. The red lines connected like the veins of a giant monster, winding through forests, across rivers, and along narrow border trails. He placed his hand on the table and spoke, each word steady and deliberate. No matter what, I will take part. It's my duty. The room fell silent for a few seconds. Comrade Fong looked at him with a mixture of concern and respect. Hung, you know this mission won't only be difficult. There may be no way back. Hung nodded slightly, lips pressed together, his voice resolute. I know. But if everyone is afraid, who will stand on the front lines. We do this not for ease, but to keep peace for others. The commander exhaled, then spoke slowly. Very well. I'm putting you in charge of the main lead with the special task force. Depart tonight. All information is top secret, no contact outside the unit, not even with family. Those words landed like a cold warning. Hung nodded, a small pang in his chest. He understood that, at least for the coming days, he and Hoai Ca would be unable to communicate. His eyes fell on the photo at the table's edge, a candid shot of Hoai Ca and Mother Ha from his last leave. Her gentle smile made him clench his hand on the table. I promise I'll come back safe. Her words from the night before still echoed in his ears. A shaft of morning sunlight slanted through the window, lighting his face, revealing steadfastness mixed with hidden worry. Outside, the engines of patrol vehicles started up in bursts, signaling the approach of deployment time. Hung rose, voice decisive. Begin preparations. Tonight, we move. Stillness. The ticking of a clock echoed softly through the small room, breaking the dense silence of the night. The desk lamp flickered weakly, casting its faint glow over scattered files, each sheet of paper a fragment of the battle Hung was about to face. He sat quietly, shoulders slightly hunched, his gaze fixed on the phone in front of him. On the screen, Hoai Ca was smiling, that gentle, sunlit smile of the countryside, simple yet piercingly tender. The light from the screen illuminated his face, tracing the fatigue around his eyes, the creases on his brow, marks left by time, duty, and sleepless nights. In his mind lay two diverging paths. On one side, duty, orders, and the oath tied to the uniform on his shoulders. On the other, love, the girl waiting for him at home, where roosters crow at noon, smoke rises from kitchen fires in the evening, and warmth greets him every time he returns. Two worlds, separated by a single choice. A distance that, once made, could take a lifetime to cross. He exhaled slowly, his voice barely more than a whisper, meant only for himself. I just hope you understand. Even if something happens, I'll still choose what's right. He tightened his grip on the phone, then gently set it down. His fingers brushed the edge of the photo on the screen, as if trying to hold onto the warmth of her smile. Outside, the first rain of the season began to fall. Raindrops struck the glass window, sliding down in uneven trails, like memories flowing backward through time. Lightning flashed, lighting up the entire room for an instant, then vanished, leaving only rain and darkness. Hung lifted his head, looking through the window. Under the distant streetlights, the rain shimmered like silver threads, fragile yet unyielding, binding the sky to the earth. Resolve slowly replaced the weariness in his eyes. He stood, put on his jacket, buttoned the collar, and reached for the folder waiting in his briefcase. Each movement was deliberate, steady, the kind of calm that comes only when a man has accepted the path before him. He turned back once more, looking at the photo on his desk. A faint smile touched his lips, the smile of someone ready to face whatever comes, even sacrifice itself. Because some roads can only be walked alone. Outside, the rain continued to fall without pause. Inside, the lone yellow light still burned, a quiet promise shared between two souls. 100 kilometers apart, yet bound by the same unshakable faith. Early morning. Dew still clung to the leaves, glimmering beneath the newborn sunlight. Hoai Ca stepped into the garden, a thin jacket draped over her shoulders, the watering hose in her hand releasing a soft stream of water, gentle as a sigh. The scent of damp earth, orange blossoms, and tender leaves blended into the fresh breath of dawn. In the distance, Mother Ha was gathering the fruit baskets from the day before, occasionally glancing up to smile warmly at her daughter. Everything felt peaceful, so peaceful that it seemed nothing could ever disturb it. Then, suddenly, her phone vibrated in her pocket. Hoai Ca wiped her hands on her sleeve and pulled it out. The screen lit up with a familiar name, Hung's speech balloon. She hurried to open the message. The words were brief, yet enough to make her heart stop for a moment. I'm about to leave. It may be a while before I can contact you again. Take care of yourself and Mom. She froze. Her eyes lingered on the glowing screen amid the drifting morning mist. Each word pressed softly but deeply into her heart. She read it over and over, afraid that if she looked away, the message would fade. The morning breeze brushed past, stirring the hem of her coat. A drop of water slipped from a citrus leaf, breaking on the damp ground, a sound as quiet and fragile as the earth itself sighing. Hoai Ca smiled faintly, her lips trembling, but her eyes filled with faith. Hun, I believe in you. Just come back safe. She lifted her gaze to the pale gray sky, where clouds drifted slowly, and the first rays of light filtered gently through their seams. The sun was rising, but inside her chest, its warmth wasn't enough to chase away the quiet unease that lingered with every breath. From afar, morning birds called out, their song blending with the soft patter of water on leaves. A tender melody of hope, delicate yet enduring. The clouds above continued to drift slowly toward the mountains, toward where Hung was preparing to depart. The breeze carried the cool scent of dawn, brushing against the scarf around her neck. Her eyes lifted once more to the horizon, full of love and a silent fear she could not name. Hung slung his backpack over his shoulder and stepped out of headquarters into the early morning mist, still laced with a fine drizzle. The dim light glimmered on his worn uniform, fabric that had weathered years of duty and dust. At the gate, a transport vehicle waited, its engine humming steadily, headlights slicing through the pale fog. Fong approached, placing a firm hand on his shoulder, his voice low but sincere. This one won't be easy, Hung, but I believe in you. Hung nodded, his eyes steady yet shadowed by something deep and unspoken. For the people. For our homeland. I'll do everything I can. They shook hands tightly, a brief moment, yet heavy with trust and brotherhood. Hung climbed into the vehicle. The door shut with a cold metallic clang. The engine roared, and the vehicle rolled forward, vanishing into the misty drizzle, leaving behind a wet, glistening road and the faint glow of the station lights shrinking in the rearview mirror. Inside, Hung sat quietly, watching the raindrops race down the window pane. Each streak of water reflected his face, calm on the surface, but carrying a storm within. Back home, Hoai Ca stood in the orchard, dew still clinging to the leaves. The hem of her coat fluttered in the wind as her gaze drifted toward the distant horizon, where the sky was painted in shades of silver gray. She didn't know that hundreds of kilometers away, the man she loved was on his way to the greatest mission of his life. The breeze carried with it the faint scent of orange blossoms, the fragrance Hung once said he missed most whenever he was far from home. Then, words fade in softly across the still screen. One side is duty, the other is love. What will Hung choose? The camera lifts toward the distant sky, clouds drifting quietly, endless and gray. A new chapter is about to begin, where the line between peace and chaos is as thin as a heartbeat. Stay tuned for the next episode on my channel.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Bây giờ thì mình đang edit video, mình hoàn thành những bước cuối cùng để hoàn thành video về câu chuyện tình yêu của Ly Hoai Ca và cảnh sát Hùng. Thì mình vẫn đang cố gắng để hoàn thành các bước cuối cùng để có thể đăng tải video lên YouTube cho mọi người. Thì bây giờ mình đang trong bước đặt tiêu đề và thêm một chút nữa là xong rồi. Thì mình cũng quay video 1 phút nối đuôi nữa là mình sẽ nối vào, sau đó mình đăng tải lên. Mình muốn cảm ơn tất cả mọi người rất là nhiều vì đã theo dõi kênh của mình. Nếu như mà mọi người yêu quý kênh của mình thì hãy đăng ký kênh, sau đó bật chuông thông báo lên để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ video nào mọi người nhé. Và mọi người ơi, hãy nhớ để lại bình luận để có thể ủng hộ cho Hoài Ca và Hùng mọi người nhé. Cảm ơn mọi người rất nhiều. Bye bye mọi người, hẹn gặp lại mọi người trong những video tiếp theo.